I'm Ashton from EventChain for Investment Pitch Media and FinTech News Network. And today on Blockchain Interviews, we have Nathan McCauley, the CEO of Anchorage. Nathan, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show. It's a pleasure to have you here today.
Ashton, happy to be here.
You're very welcome. I'm excited to learn a little bit about Anchorage. If you would just kick it off with some background on your expertise in the security industry and how you're applying that to cryptocurrencies.
Sure. So I've been working in security for my whole career, starting with anti-reverse engineering for both tanks and video games, kind of across the board. And then after working in that field for a while, I ended up being one of the early security engineers at Square. That's where I met my co-founder, Diogo, and we spent the next few years together building all the security infrastructure at Square, and then moved on to Docker, where we worked on security for containerization until late 2017, when crypto called for us to join and to work on a custodial solution that allows institutional investors to hold their crypto assets securely.
That's great. And how is Anchorage specifically making cryptocurrency a safer place? Is it that dangerous out there right now?
So it's been pretty clear to institutional investors from the very beginning that since crypto assets are, in a sense, bearer assets, security of how they're held is paramount. From the fact that there have been historically many hacks of exchanges and other custodial providers, to the fact that just the underlying situation with the assets kind of demands that. It's always been pretty important. So luckily there are some solutions out there like Anchorage that are able to provide really secure custody of the assets, while also allowing some of the great advantages that we've gotten out of blockchain networks to be realized.
Mm-hmm. Security has been a major issue, especially with exchanges and people looking to trade between coins. When you have to move your coins onto a hot wallet and they no longer become your private keys alone, you have to share those to trade the coins, and often those exchanges are compromised and the coins are lost. As people are looking to continually hold access to their own private keys and trade or stake coins, how do you foresee the industry coming up with a solution to have the best of both worlds?
Sure. The way we look at it is that people should have a temperature. The weather should have a temperature, but we shouldn't have to be thinking about the fact that our assets might have a temperature. No other asset class has this kind of dichotomy that you have to deal with, and you shouldn't have to deal with it in crypto assets. You should be able to get all of the advantages of what people call cold storage, all of the security advantages, with none of the trade-offs. You should still be able to stake those assets. You should be able to vote in them. You should be able to participate in airdrops, all while keeping them safely stored and usable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, security and access seems to be some sort of a trade-off or a compromise. Do you foresee in the near future, or has Anchorage already solved this problem where you do not have to compromise either of those things?
We have solved the problem. We have a solution that we have onboarded many crypto funds to already, where they're able to hold their assets, they're able to move them out to trade them at their leisure. On timeframes that are useful for them, and they're also able to do crypto native activities like participating airdrops, staking in those networks where that is necessary and can help generate yield, and very soon we'll be rolling out participative voting in some of the networks.
Interesting. And what is one of the important things that investors and fiduciaries should know about keeping their digital assets safe? And many are still learning about the industry.
Yep. So with the responsibilities of a fiduciary, you have to be considering kind of two aspects of that. First one is, how do you make sure that you don't lose the assets themselves? How do you make sure that they're held in a third-party qualified custodian? And the qualified custodian themselves should also be acting as a fiduciary. We're able to do that through a South Dakota trust company and kind of execute fiduciary powers there. And for us, that really means two things that matter both to us and matter to the investors. That is, keep the assets safe and generate yield on top of the assets. It is the responsibility of any fiduciary to seek out yield where it is available. And in crypto assets, there are a whole host of activities that are crypto native that require participation in the networks that are yield generating. And it is our opinion that the investment advisors who are investing in these funds must do those things, and the custodian who is holding those assets has the responsibility to participate in those activities.
Mm-hmm. And how long ago was Anchorage started, and what does the customer base look like right now?
Sure. So we finished our first fundraising round in late 2017. We spent all of 2018 building the technology. We kind of went into stealth mode, went quiet, and just built up the technology. We knew that this was going to be kind of a net new innovation to the space, and so we really spent the time to get it right. Spent a whole year building. In 2019, we came out of stealth, launched the company, started onboarding clients, and right now we have a host of clients that are large crypto investors in the space. Think of your Polychains, Paradigms, Andreessen Horowitz Crypto. All of the kind of the large crypto investors have already onboarded, and we are continuing to onboard more actively traded funds that are looking to gain yield from staking. And increasingly having conversations with more traditional investors like family offices who are looking to allocate some percentage of their holdings into crypto and hold them safely and generate yield while they're being held.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting. And is the custody industry very competitive? I saw recently Zappo and Coinbase are growing rapidly, and there's $200 to $400 million coming in every week. How do you have a competitive advantage over these guys?
Sure. So there are a number of legacy players within the space who have been around for a while and are focused on cold storage custody of their assets. It is our opinion that model will not be the model that serves investors long term within crypto. And so what we're seeing is among funds who are looking to kind of take a long term view and take a long term position within crypto, they're looking for the enduring partner to work with within the crypto asset space. And many of them look at that and say, hey, we're going to need a place to hold assets where we know that we're going to be able to trade quickly. We know we're going to be able to move around the assets, and we know that we're going to be able to generate yield on top of those assets. And Anchorage is the only market participant right now that doesn't focus on cold storage and rather holds the assets in a way that they're safe and can be used effectively. We're seeing overwhelming interest inbound to come and talk to our sales team. In fact, we're scaling up our sales team right now to deal with the demand that we're facing.
Mm-hmm. I was just going to ask that. What does your team look like right now, and are you mainly based in the U.S.?
Sure, yeah. We are based in the U.S. We have 40 employees here in the U.S., many engineers. Many engineers are responsible for implementing the assets and implementing all the security behind the system. We have a large legal team because we are very regulatory and compliance focused. And then we have a sales and marketing team that is there to really serve our clients and provide that institutional experience that many of them would like to have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what does the business model look like for Anchorage right now, and is it competitive within the space?
It is competitive. We're finding that we charge a percentage of the assets per year, kind of an AUC fee that is fairly typical among traditional custodians. We're finding that our prices are competitive with the market, and that people are, in many cases, even willing to pay a premium to come with us because they recognize the superior security that they gain and the superior access to the assets that they gain.
Mm-hmm. Well, congratulations. Now, one thing you mentioned was you spent all of 2018 developing, and that often happens in the blockchain industry. Once the funds have been raised, you put your heads down and put the pedal to the metal. Now that the product is live in the market, what does the development look like? Is it finished? Are you guys continuing to develop new services?
Yeah, so some of the features that we're adding kind of now are on top of the core custody protocol. I would split those into two main phases. The first phase is implement new assets. So we have support for some of the larger cap tokens right now. Our investors and our clients are looking for a single custodian to hold all of their assets. So we continue to spend a large amount of time, energy, and effort on implementing new assets that are coming out into the space. In addition to that, there's another whole set of features that people want from the institutional custodian. So we spent a lot of time over the last few months adding an API that allows fund administrators and auditors to integrate very nicely. We really want to be the custodian that solves the entire life cycle for our funds, not just hold the assets, but help the fund deal with fund administration, help the clients pass their audits, and help the client fully act as a fiduciary and help them in every way that we can.
Mm-hmm. That's great. And I also read that you've become one of the members of the Libra Foundation. Could you speak a little bit about this joining Libra and what that means for Anchorage and what it means for the industry?
Sure. Libra is an extremely exciting project. We've been talking to Libra team since the very beginning. Our focus with working with Libra is basically it is going to be one of the largest projects in the to hit crypto, and has the potential to have very large impact on the underbanked throughout the world, and create a medium exchange that can really help a lot of people. And really kind of achieve some of the goals that crypto has always looked to do. The fact that it kind of has a dual focus of helping individual users get access to crypto, but also has an institutional angle where there are institutional investors looking to invest in it, makes it a very natural fit for us. So we will actually be one of the founding members of Libra. It means we will have a seat at the table and vote on all the important issues that face them. We will run validator nodes, which will help us actually run the network. And we're really looking forward to working with regulators all over the world to help them understand Libra and really bring the promise of blockchain to many more people worldwide.
That sounds very promising, and best of luck with that.
Thank you.
And now, as you continue to grow, what challenges or obstacles do you foresee that Anchorage may come across?
Sure. So the challenges that I imagine will come across are ones that we are absolutely planning for right now. So one of the biggest challenges we face right now is scaling up our sales team. Like I mentioned earlier, there's so much inbound interest. There's so many more people coming into crypto that we're needing to scale that up. That's kind of a near-term challenge. Longer term, crypto is an area that just has tremendous amount of technical complexity. So continuing to wrangle all of that complexity, hiring a stellar engineering team that is able to build all these features, build these crypto native integrations that are allowed to that enable clients to generate yield, will kind of be a continuing challenge for us. The other one I would say is not necessarily as much as a challenge as an opportunity, and that is speaking exactly what I was talking to about regulatory landscape. There is a lot of questions that need to be answered, and we're spending a lot of resources and time investing in that area. Because the way this really works for the institutional investor base is that everything ends up being regulated and ends up looking and feeling like an offering and like an asset class that they're familiar with. So spending a lot of time on regulatory is going to continue to be an opportunity for us where we will invest time, energy, and effort.
That's great, Nathan. And you mentioned that you're growing the team and you're also looking for more customers. Is there anything else that you're looking for?
Sure. We really like partnering with the blockchains themselves. So any of the blockchain developers who are looking to add a new asset, we're always interested to talk even earlier in their development cycle about how we can be a custodian for them and how we can best serve those needs. For us, they are as much a constituent for us. The blockchain teams, the teams that are implementing the assets, are as much a constituent for us as our clients are, as our employees are, and as the regulators are.
Mm-hmm. And if these parties are interested in learning more information or reaching out to Anchorage, what is the best way for them to contact you?
Sure. The easiest way to reach us is through our website, anchorage.com. We have a contact form there where any inbound interest can be represented and can come in, join us, and let us know how we can help serve you best.
Thank you so much for your time, Nathan. That's all the time we have today, but it's been a pleasure speaking to you, and let's follow up in the near future.
Sounds good, Ashton. Thanks a lot for your time.